one of our in-action guests today, we're going to be talking about the EB2 U.S. visa. Master's degree holders now have a better chance of getting a green card in the U.S. thanks to the EB2 visa, a new U.S. immigrant visa that allows foreign nationals with an advanced degree to obtain residency in the U.S. Aside from being a master's degree holder, one can also avail of the EB2 visa if he or she has an exceptional ability in the science, arts, or business that will substantially benefit the U.S. economy or its cultural and educational interests. If you are interested in getting the EB2 visa but still unsure of your strengths yet, there's an employment agency based in California, CSI Professionals Incorporated, which provides potential candidates with an in-depth analysis of their degree and background. CSI also gives potential candidates prospective employment options with sponsoring companies in the U.S. Today, we're joined by Marge Ordiales. She's the Vice President of CSI Professionals Incorporated. And you are one of the
leading employment agency.
You are the leading employment agency in terms of helping executives and businessmen get work abroad.
Correct.
In such fields. All right. EB2, you don't really normally hear this around. I mean, we hear of most Filipinos get to the U.S. via sponsorship from their relatives in the U.S. They get petitioned. It takes forever. It takes like many, many years. But this is a faster way, as you're saying, to get to the U.S. Why hasn't EB2 gotten much attention, and why aren't people so aware of this?
Well, TJ, I think the reason for that is that previously the wait time on an EB2 was 2 to 3 years because the visa number wasn't current, meaning that there was a backlog. So other e-visas were focused on more heavily. But what's happened recently for people from the Philippines is that the backlog has been erased. And so now the wait time is much shorter, and an EB2 visa can be processed in 13 to 15 months, assuming that things go smoothly. That's why you're hearing more about it now.
And that's very fast in terms of immigration visas.
That's pretty fast in terms of immigration. Yeah, it moves slowly.
Is it faster in particular in certain countries, or this is how fast EB2s are going around also in different parts of the world?
Well,
fortunately for the Filipinos, this is actually an advantage because there's no current backlog. I mean, there's no backlog for Filipino applicants at all.
All right.
So
the visa numbers are current for people from all nations except people from China and India.
Right. When you say current, how would you define current to those who are not so familiar with this particular terminology when it comes to the visas?
Yeah, current meaning if you pass the certification of Department of Labor, the job is available, and you qualify for the job, you can go ahead immediately apply for your green card in the U.S.
A green card right away.
Exactly.
How different is this from other people who get sponsored, let's say, by a U.S. company? Maybe they don't have a bachelor's degree or even a master's degree, but they still get sponsored and they get a working visa there. How different is it from this one? You were saying earlier that something about being faster to get the green card?
Yeah, the only difference between the different categories of employment-based petitions is the time it takes to get the final green card. So there are other ways to get to an employment authorization, but as of today, the fastest way to get to it is if you have a master's degree or a bachelor plus 5 years equivalent experience, then you can take advantage of this EB2 process, and you'll be able to get the green card in 13 to 15 months.
All right. The actual green card itself.
The actual card.
Not just the visa to start working there. How fast do you get the visa to get there and work there?
The fastest way, if it's a visa, just to get a working visa, at least that would be anywhere between 6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months only.
Depending if there is actually, in fact, current available visas, and at this point, there's none. We're talking about bachelor's degree holders.
Okay, now what makes this unique? There are special qualifications and requirements for this particular EB2 visa. Tell us more about the details.
Well, this one is designed specifically for people that hold a master's degree. And like Nathan touched on, a master's degree or a bachelor's degree plus 5 years experience in the specific field.
So that's an or thing. So even if you don't have a master's degree, you could have a bachelor's degree, but with 5 years experience.
You must have 5 years experience in the field that you're going to be employed in.
And does it matter what kind of field it is, or in any field whatsoever you can apply, and as long as you do have that master's degree?
It would be any field. Of course, the job offer would have to be in the field that you received your master's degree in.
Okay, we're seeing something on our screens right now. There's an A, B, and C category for this. There's an what's A, for example, a category for foreign nationals with an advanced degree. That's the one with a master's degree, right? And B is for those with exceptional ability. But does someone who fall under category B, does he have to have a master's degree?
Well, there are several factors that you go through, the immigration puts out to qualify a person who has exceptional ability.
Okay.
So the requirement is to meet a few of those factors, and then you can submit your evidence with the ability that you think you have, and immigration will weigh them, and then they will have a decision for you.
All right. Well, you mentioned that the immigration will weigh it, and because when you say the term exceptional ability, that's a relative term. I mean, for me, I could be exceptional. I do such and such at this kind of success rate. For another person, it may not be as exceptional. Would you know more or less where the gray area is and what exceptional ability, how could you describe this?
Well, exceptional ability is a tough one, and I think it's a judgment call with every person. For instance, someone like you could prove that you have an exceptional ability as a television host because you host this very successful show here in the Philippines. So you have to be able to establish that what you're doing is truly outstanding in the field that you're in.
All right. So in other words, it comes with showing also the accolades or the proof or awards that you've gotten.
Exactly.
It helps
Yes,
a lot.
it helps a lot.
Right. How different is this from, we were talking earlier before we started the program about extraordinary ability visas that have been given to musicians and artists and actors. How different is this one to compare to that one when in terms to proving your exceptional ability?
Yeah, if you, under EB1 category, that's what you're referring to.
That's EB1.
Right. It's a self-sponsored petition. That means you don't need a sponsor from the U.S. Based on your exceptional ability, based on your qualifications, the U.S. wants you to be in the U.S.
Okay.
They want you to be their permanent resident.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.